Welcome to the presentation of the Barsicle for the course International Trade Management. Our class is CE4C and the teacher is Peter Kamsma. We hope you will enjoy our presentation. First, I will give you a short introduction of our team. Our team consists of Robert Paul Kilian, myself Tarick Ruivenkamp, Sepher Felipe van Gerwen, and Ronald. On the right bottom side of each slide, you can find the person who is speaking. To find the best country for us to export to, we have done a pre-filter. In this pre-filter, we have used 6 factors to examine each country. First, we have looked up the country stats. The country stats we've looked up are the GDP, the total population, and the main religion. To make a good decision on which country fits us best, we also look at import rates and restrictions. Because when you're importing or exporting a product, this is the main reason or the main choice to select a country. Because we are selling a Barsicle, it is very important for us that the infrastructure of a country is well maintained. That's why we also use this criteria. Also, the climate is an important factor. This because you ride a bicycle in nice weather. A country with a nice climate will only help us sell the bicycle faster. That's why we use the climate and risk of calamities criteria. We have also used the criteria alcohol consumption and regulation. In some countries, it's not allowed to drink alcohol. Because our product is a driving bar where alcohol will be served, it is important for us to look at alcohol consumption and regulations. The last criteria we use is prosperity. Prosperity of a country is very important indicator. That's why we have used the Prosperity Index. This is a yearly report and ranks country on their overall prosperity. After the pre-filter, we have chosen the 3 best countries according to the pre-filter criteria. The first country is the United States. It has the highest GDP of 17.947 trillion US dollars. Also has a Mediterranean climate along the California coastline. The second country we have chosen is Canada. They have the lowest duty rates of 8.56%, and Canada ranks number 5, the highest one of all, in the International Prosperity Index. The third and last country we have selected for after the pre-filter was Australia. They have a fast developing infrastructure and they have more than 3,000 hours of sunshine a year.
The MABA analysis shows us clearly that America is the best country to export to.
Thank you, Ronald. Well, let's have a look at the product that we want to export. The Barsicle. Barsicle is actually a mobile pup. It can fit up to 17 persons, depending on the size of the bike, of course, because we have 3 sizes. So you have one for 12, one for 16, and one for 17 persons. Everyone has their own pedals to participate in cycling the bike forward. You're seated around an oval bar, which makes you feel like you and your friends are at an actual bar. The driver of this cafe-like vehicle on wheels is obligated to stay sober, of course, because of the participating in public traffic. The idea for building the Fietscafé has started when the owner of a cafe in Amsterdam wanted to promote his pub on Queen's Day. This is a popular holiday in the Netherlands. Zwier van Laar, the inventor of the Barsicle, invented and manufactured a multiple persons bike with a pub in the middle. The Barsicle now is very popular in the city of Amsterdam and also other big cities in the Netherlands, and is used in case of bachelor parties, birthdays, by sports teams, actually for celebrating literally anything. Now, as we know, it has several drafts on board, so everyone can draft their own beers, just like an actual cafe. There are multiple companies that rent out the Barsicle with an experienced driver, however, the Fietscafé BV is the biggest manufacturer of the Barsicle now. They started in 1997 near Barneveld in Kootwijkerbroek. This is a really small place in the Netherlands. This company offers three kinds of bicycles, as mentioned before, for 12, 16 and 17 people. It beats the competition in the Netherlands because of their detailed finish and use of durable materials. The bicycle is tested thoroughly and with experience built up since 2000. It's the most reliable bicycle available now on the market. The Fiets Café BV sells their bikes to multiple channels and not only business to business. It's also possible to rent a bike from them. Currently they have 27 bikes for rent, so they are therefore the biggest in Amsterdam and Holland, and 5 used bikes for sale. New orders can be made and will be manufactured. The bicycle in the Netherlands, as mentioned before, is very popular among tourists. Zwieler van Laar, the owner of the Fiets Café BV, therefore has decided that the Dutch market isn't big enough anymore for the bicycle and would like to export the product to another country outside of the EU. Therefore, it's our task to select the best country with filtering methods and make an implementation plan for the export and sale of the bicycle. Now let's have a look at the DESTEP that we made. The population of the state of California exceeds now 39 million people. And the state of California has over 12 million households, of which on average every household contains 3 persons. The median household income of a Californian resident is $61,800 US. In comparison to the whole country the whole of the country of $53,000, this is considerably higher, and therefore perhaps a good state to introduce our bicycle. The climate, the ecological factors are not really that important for the bicycle. Looking at the climate in the Netherlands, it's mostly rain and cold, except for in the summers. This can be good temperatures, but also not very long. However, the climate of California varies widely. They have hotter desert areas to subarctic, depending on latitude, elevation, and proximity. Also, the climate differs if you tend to be more on the coastline or more land inward, and here, of course, temperatures will vary. So we will be looking for a climate that is not too hot and not too cold, or not too much rain. The state of California can be categorized in ecoregions in 4 major ones. You have desert ecoregions, Mediterranean ecoregions, forested mountains, and coastal forests. So we will be looking probably at the Mediterranean ecoregions. For social factors, cultural factors for the bicycle, there's a social trend around using and consuming alcohol, especially while driving. There's enormous cross-cultural variation in the way people behave when they drink. In some societies, such as the UK, Scandinavia, US, and Australia, alcohol is associated with violent and antisocial behavior, while in others, such as Mediterranean and some South American cultures, drinking behavior is largely peaceful and harmonious, and this also can be found in the California region. Technological factors for the bicycle. This has no real importance for research for the bicycle. The technology in the state of California is similar to that of the country in which the Fiets Café BV originated, the Netherlands. Infrastructure is compared to the Netherlands equal, if not better, looking at the mere size of the roads and cities in general. However, looking at the paths for the bikes is, of course, is different, but this is not applicable for the bicycle. For the economic factors, the economy of California is the largest in the United States now, and as of 2015, California's gross state product is about 2.5 trillion. It says GSP grew 4.1% in 2015. However, California still suffers from too much poverty, and its unemployment rate remains above the national average at 5.3%. But the state's jobless rate is falling faster, and California's per capita income is rising faster than the rest of the country, making it an interesting region for us. The political and legal factors, of course, in all countries, drinking is a rule government activity. It's about with self-imposed norms and regulations concerning who may drink, how much, or what, when, how, in what context, with what effects. California have been reviewing pieces of legislation that would bring their state laws in line with much of the rest of the world, which would mean lowering the legal drinking age from 21 to 18. The overarching logic concerns curbing underage binge drinking and getting teens to relax about fake IDs and to drink socially the way Europe does. So that's good news for us. Thank you.
Risk assessment. We have used the risk assessment model using four criteria. The first one, operational risk. This one is low for the Fiets Cafe. This because the Fiets Cafe won't actually physically establish itself in the USA. The second one is the financial risk. This one is high. The biggest risk for the Fiets Cafe is the financial risk. It is expensive to export a product abroad. We will need to export multiple units each time to keep the shipping cost per unit low. To lower this risk, the return policy must be very strict. Also, there will be a down payment upfront from the buyer. The third one is the strategic risk. This one is medium. Current political climate in the USA can be a problem because the import rates and import restrictions can change. The last one is the hazard risk. This one is medium. Throughout its history, the USA has experienced frequent national disasters such as earthquakes, wildfires, floods, tsunamis, landslides, and coastal changes. In the California area, expected losses from these hazards are expected to exceed $3 billion per year.
Distribution. The Fiets Cafe delivers their products directly to the customers in the United States. The bicycle will be shipped by container and delivered to the customers. The Fiets Cafe delivers their products without any involvement of other companies. They stated some important rules for the companies by using the bicycle. The Fiets Cafe also has some terms and agreements for payment, delivery, and return policy. The payment policy. The customer must pay 30% of the sale price in advance before the order will be shipped to the United States. Payments can be done by using credit card and money transferring. Delivery policy. The Fiets Cafe will deliver their products to the buyer's address. Together with the Fiets Cafe, the buyer will check the product and get a small introduction on how to use it. Product delivery time will be arranged when buying the product. Shipping costs are included in the price on the website. Return policy. The product can be returned if there are any problems with the delivered product. The Fiets Cafe is not responsible for problems caused by product users. The Fiets Cafe is also not responsible for any damage caused by products. Now I'm going to tell you something about the marketing mix, so I'll first start with the product. The Fiets Cafe offers three kinds of bicycles for 12, 16 and 17 persons, all three in different price categories. The bikes are built by using high quality materials, detailed finish and experience. The place. The Fiets Cafe sells the bike on their website, but also through other resellers such as Bike for Fun. There's no physical store. The price. Because of the high investment for materials and manual labor, the bicycle is quite expensive. Below you will see some prices. For 12 persons it's about 15,000 euros. For 16 persons it's about 70,000 euros. And for 17 persons it's about 18,000 euros. So the promotion. At this moment the Fiets Cafe is difficult to find on the web. However, the website is used to promote the bicycle. The bicycle has had a lot of media attention, positive and negative. The Fiets Cafe currently has a Facebook and Instagram page where they promote their products and experiences. They also use flyers at hotels and bars. As we can see below, the profit is pretty decent for selling a singular bike. The costs we had to take in account to are manufacturing cost, air freight cost, custom clearance and overhead cost. This brought us to a cost price of almost 15,000 euros. The selling price is just over 17,000 euros, so there can be a profit of 2,900 euros per bike. This is a good start because we can manage to have a 20% margin on the actual product.
Hi there, this is Robert Balkilian speaking. I'm going to talk to you about our time planning, considering the bar cycle. First off, as you can see on the presentation, week 1, the first activity we're going to start doing in the first period arriving there is renting a garage slash workplace, so somewhere we can maintain and install our bar cycle and most importantly put together our first US bar cycle. I could just walk you through it, starting to get a permit liquor license through the ABC, which stands for the California Department of Alcohol Beverage Control. This is very important for starting to create revenue, of course, hence we need to get our papers in order. Furthermore, the rest of the week will be about putting together the first US bar cycle. Starting the second week will remain the same activity. After that, doing some test drives, of course, make sure everything's on point. After this, we will start in week 3, checking in with the local authorities, for instance police, to see if the cycle is safe enough. Once we get their approval on our bicycle, we will start by approaching businesses, actually riding the bike down, for instance, the boulevard of California, to see small businesses and talk to them about our product and what use it can be for them. This will create, of course, a lot of attention and also the chance to create our first revenue in week 4, where we start our first fully booked, hopefully, bar cycle promotion run. This will at the same time create a great marketing tool, so the product will do the mouth-to-mouth advertisement for itself, and hopefully this will result in a fully booked bar cycle run the next day. And starting from this point, we hope to have our first runs fully booked the last days of that week, week 4. And after that, we will be looking in week 5 for expansion of our product. This will be our main focus. Approach possible buyers of the bike afterwards. Of course, to interest them to actually purchase their own bar cycle instead of just only renting them to tourists and other passengers. We would like them to actually invest in our product as well. And this all, of course, will be the first 5 weeks of our time planning, just to give you a broad idea and perspective of the possibilities we have starting from the moment we put foot on the ground in California. And from here on, I would like to talk to you about innovation. The bar cycle as a product has a lot of room for innovation. And we thought of a lot of possibilities to innovate this beautiful product. Let me walk you through the slide right here. On product innovation, we thought of innovations as solar energy. So there will be panels on top of the bar cycle to create its own energy, so be self-sufficient. The possibility to adjust their seats, so more comfort for the passengers. Also a self-tap system where the passengers can actually use an automatic draft system which will draft a perfect beer and the perfect amount in every glass. And besides these innovations, our product can also take different looks and therefore can be used for promotional purposes. For example, think of a local restaurant. They can use our bar cycle by putting advertisements on the sides, giving them the color of their restaurant, or for example, using their slogans on all different types of marketing that can be used in and around the bar cycle. Then next, I want to talk to you about process innovation. Most importantly, we can cooperate with branch-related companies. Think of local beer brewers or other companies that provide in food, small beverages, drinks, appetizers, all sorts of. This gives a possibility to create greater revenue for multiple companies, so a benefit for local small businesses as well. On top, we would like to create a bar cycle service team. So if any trouble might be caused, the cycle service team can be contacted to solve any inconvenience or troubles along the road. And the final part of the process innovation is the partially manufacturing the bar cycle in California, which means we will send the parts unconnected by ship and putting together the bar cycle in California, which will reduce the cost significantly and of course is a great process innovation and will reduce our costs significantly. I would like to thank you for your time. This was Robert Paul Kilian speaking.